God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall trouble, or hardship, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or danger, or sword? No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, nor angels nor demons, nor the present nor the future, nor any powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ. I like these verses because, for many reasons, but mainly because they don't speak of a soft, sugary, syrupy, group hug, old person go to church on Sunday kind of love. It speaks of a force that is the power behind the universe. This love of God that God is trying to get through to us in so many ways, that this love would enter the world as a baby. We're talking about love with diaper rash. We're talking about love that lived in that hot, arid, dusty world. We're talking about a love that hit its hand with a hammer, I think. I don't know, maybe not. But you'd think that he got a splinter or two when he was working as a carpenter. A love that left everything and taught. A love that gave his life. And a love that was demonstrated that even though everything looked against it, a love that was so powerful and forceful, it demonstrated that that wasn't the end. A love so powerful that it conquered death. And a love that is available to us. That same love is offered, and that same power that as we go through our daily lives, I hit my thumb quite often. Things don't always go as planned. And even if the world totally falls apart and it looks hopeless, God is going to take everything that's happened in my life and work it out for my good and for God's good. And with that, we win. We win the conference title. We win the Super Bowl. We are more than conquerors. No matter if trouble or hardship or persecution, famine, nakedness, the things that we fear, we do not have to fear because of God's love. He's going to take us through. I don't always see it that way, though. Just real quick, to illustrate, I don't always see God's love. And I think I have to talk about my dogs a little bit. I've got a couple of dogs, and they're pretty good dogs, but the little one, Amelia, they're poodles. I'm sorry, but they're wonderful dogs. They're big poodles. They're not little big, little yippy ones. Sorry if anybody has a little yippy poodle. But they're big poodles. But the female, Amelia, thinks, and you have to groom them quite a bit because their hair grows unlike some of them. But when we take her to the groomer to give her a bath and to clean her ears out so they don't get infected and get infections and she dies, she thinks we are killing her, doesn't she? She shakes. When actually it's a love that's behind it. So we don't always see, in my own life, I don't always see God's love. Now the bigger dog, Harley the poodle dog, he's highly food motivated. And he thinks, because he does talk to me verbally when nobody else is around. I don't know why that happens that way. When somebody else comes up, he stops talking. But he told me that what he thinks of as my love is him giving him a doggy biscuit. And the more I give to him of those, the more he thinks I love it. But there comes a point when, Harley, you're about 6, 7, 8 pounds overweight, buddy. And guess what? Mom is limiting the dog biscuits I can give to you. And he doesn't see it as love. He would say, if you love me, you'll give me all those dog biscuits. And I'd eat myself, he'd eat himself to death. So do we always know and see the good that's for us? It's not always obvious, because we have difficulties. We have problems. I don't have all the money that I'd like to have all the time. Don't have the health that I'd like all the time. I don't have the hair that I've always wanted to keep. But seriously, through life, we don't always see God's love. I would invite us to see God's love as we do each week in the giving of God to us, the giving of Jesus to us. And the demonstration of love in action. It wasn't necessarily soft and sweet and syrupy, but it was a powerful love that overcame every force in the universe, every force that was against it. And we share that love. And because of what Christ did, we have hope. He rose from the dead. Death can't touch us. He gave us peace, his own peace, that no matter if our life is going to hell in a handbasket, we can claim peace. He gave us joy. And he shows us this great, powerful love by laying down his life for us. And so we remember what Christ did, and we partake of Christ together. And let's do that. Let's celebrate God's love. If we can even generate a spark of feeling like we just won the Super Bowl, that we just